Assalamualaikum, my name is Hakimi. So we are from Group C, Section 2, and today we are going to present to you our project, which is Halal Certification and Verification System. So our group consists of 4 members, which are me, Ahmad Hakimi bin Adnan. The second one is Azri bin Shamsul Bahri, Aliff Hakimi, and also Nik Ameen. So for quick introduction, so basically our system, which is the Halal certification and verification system, is basically a system that an online platform that help and also streamline the halal certification, which by we allow the food producer to apply certification digitally, and also enabling any authorities like JAKIM, MUIS, and so on. So basically we want to help those who wants to apply the halal certification without going to the places or office, because it is time wasting. So in our features, we provide some features, for example the QR code verifications, real-time monitoring, and also we provide the renewal alerts via notifications. So our system, we want to provide the transparency, we want to build the trust, and also we want to provide the compliance in the halal food industry itself, specifically in Asia and also ASEAN. So that's
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nik Ameen Bin Abidin and my metric number is 222288 and 1. So I'm going to talk about our requirement engineering process framework, which first I will talk about the system context. In the system context, we have subject facet, user facet, and IT system facet. So for the subject facet, it's a facet that focuses on the entities and objects directly involved in the system. For our system, the subject facet is certification application, product, and manufacturer information. Next is user facet. It's a facet that captures interaction and requirement based on user roles, such as admin and consumer. And lastly, the IT facet is a facet that describes the technological infrastructure used by the system. So for our system, QR code generator and web-based dashboard. Within the same requirement engineering context, which is development context, the development context focus on constraint and consideration during system development. This include ensuring adherence to local halal policy, including JAKIM. Other than that, we use agile methodology to keep helps flexibility to accommodate changing requirements. Next is RE core activities. In RE core activities, we have 3 elements, which is elicitation, documentation, and negotiation. First, elicitation is a process that helps us to identify the system requirement. For example, conducting workshop within the stakeholders. Next, documentation process, which capture all elicited and validated requirement in a structured and accessible format. For example, SRS. And lastly, negotiation, which is the process that resolve conflict between stakeholders and balancing competing needs and priorities. Moving on to a requirement artifact, first is the goal, which is the high-level objective on guiding the system development. So our first goal is to ensure the trust from customer. The second goal is the applicants can communicate with halal bodies such as JAKIM. And the third goal is to provide transparency in halal supply chains. And next is scenario, which we provide user interaction to clarify the requirements. And lastly, solution-oriented requirement, which is detailed and actionable requirements specifying system functionalities. And lastly, for cross-sectional activity, the validation ensure that a requirement meets stakeholder needs and expectation. So managing involves tracking, updating, and maintaining requirements throughout the project lifecycle. So we use Polarion, which is our M tool, to track changes in the requirement and link requirement to design element and test cases. We also manage any changes and update in the requirement.
My name is Azri and I will present about our RM2, which is Polarion ALM. So this tool help us in manage the requirement by provide many features such as centralized tracking, version control, traceability, and change management. And even though we cannot fully access all the features due to licenses limit, but it still help us to understand the structured requirement handling, which is manually applied through spreadsheet and version document. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So this is Polarion, our RM2 for this project. And as you can see here at the home menu, you can see the this RM2 are included with all the feature that you need to manage the requirement, such as dashboard, requirement, design, risk, planning, development, testing, and maintenance. And also here included the history of the activity that you do at the past. So this is the work items where all the information that you enter to register are stored here. As you can see the test cases, the system requirement, and other more. And you can also filter to the type of what you want, for example, like the system requirement and the system test cases. And you also can add any requirement that you want here. So this is the requirement section, and this is the workflow or the step that you need to do in order to complete the requirement section. So it is easier for us, for the beginner. And you can either import the existing document that you want, or, or you can use the template that the tool provides. So I just click the template, and as you can see here, this is the template, and you can just edit the information such as the introduction, the general overview, and the requirement. So in order for you to add any new requirement, you can just click here and select where you want to add. For example, like I choose this Halal certification application module, and I just click here to add what and choose the type of the requirement. For example, like I choose for the system requirement and enter the title here. For example, like the system, and you can select the severity to make whether must have, should have, next to have, will not have. And also you can actually assign uh, who actually handle this requirement, but due to limited feature, because I'm not subscribed for this uh, tool, so I cannot show for you. And then after you finish, you just click save, and here you can see the requirement that you add will show here. And also you can uh, edit the property, where you can edit the severity or the status to revert or reject or approve. And also you can link to other requirement. For example, like this item, the system shall allow applicants to submit certification application by providing information, and is verified by this test case, which is applicant submit halal certification. So like you click that test case, and it will link to the test cases. As you can see here, this is the test cases that verify uh, the requirement system. And also you can see here the testability metrics, so it's easier for you to trace any requirement here. So this is the system requirement statistic where you can see the overall status of the requirements, such as like there are still 6 requirements in draft and 5 in review, and also 5 that already approved. And you can also see the system requirement trends. So it's easier for us to analyze the activity. And here is the system requirement system test case coverage, where you can see the what system requirement that still don't have any system test case. For example, like you can see here, and also the chart where it's easier for us to analyze the data.
Okay, next, for our project, we use the requirement engineering framework based on 3 aspects. First is the subject facet, which includes the main items in the system like halal applications and product info. Then use the usage facet, where we focus on user like admin and consumers. And the IT facet, which is involving things like the QR code generator and dashboards. We also considered the development context, which we follow Jakim's rules and use agile methods to adapt to change quickly. Next, the core activities we did include in a session where we interview stakeholders to find out what they need. For example, we create requirement as FCVS MP2 where manufacturers can edit product details. Next, documentation when we wrote all requirement in a clear format, and negotiation to balance the needs between groups like Jakim and manufacturer. Next, we have 3 main parts, which is first goals like building user trust and helping applicants communicate with Hakim. Second, scenarios showing how user interact with the system. And third, functional requirements like HF CVS HCA3, which generates a QR code for each valid halal certificate for so consumer can verify it instantly. Next, we also focus on validation and requirements management. Even though we didn't use Polarian ALM directly, we learned how it helps track requirement and manage changes. For example, we track #CVS HCA5. This sends renewal reminders to certificate holder to avoid expiry. One important module is inspection access. HFCVSIA1 allows regulator to schedule and track site inspection, and HFCVSIA2 sends automatic notification to businesses and inspectors about inspection dates. This helps improve halal compliance and efficiency. Lastly, in this part, we show the inspection access module. One functional requirement is HFCVSIA1. The system allows regulators to schedule and track physical inspection of businesses applying for certificates. Another one is HFCVSIA2. The system sends automated notification to business and inspectors with the inspection dates and details. These features make the inspection process easier and more transparent.
So we continue to the requirement validations. So for the requirement validation, we apply 3 methods, which are commenting review, inspection, and also walkthrough, which is we want to ensure the accuracy, the completeness, and also the clarity of our requirements. So for the first method, which is the commenting review, so commenting review is basically what we are doing in the class. So our team conduct a commenting review by using the Google Docs, where our members and also lecturer provided feedback on the draft requirements, and also those comments will help to identify some problems and also incomplete requirements. For example, we failed to specify any types and trigger for notifications. So basically the process will enhance the clarity and also the accuracy of our requirements before proceeding to the formal validation. So this process basically we are doing among our team members. So based on the SRS, we are actually review our requirements ourselves and also based on the other groups and also the lecturers' feedback. So this table is the result of our commenting review. So I will just explain one example, which is from our original requirements, we stated that the system shall support notifications. So we received the feedback from the lecturers, which we didn't specify types, triggers, and also the recipients. So after we review the feedback, we comes up with the new requirements, which is the system shall notify applicants status changes including the pending and the review, approved, rejected, and requires additional documents. So basically we actually this type of validation will ensure that we are not missing any important things in our requirements because we want to eliminate the ambiguity, and also we want to include some criteria for each requirement. Next, we do the inspection, which our team carry out a formal inspection from our SRS. So we review each requirement line by line, and also we are using the checklist to ensure the clarity, the testability, and also the consistency. So from this inspection, we actually identify some problems, which is like vague wording, and also some requirements are redundant, and also we are trying to improve the quality of the requirements and reducing any risk of misinterpretation during the development later. So this is the result and also how we do the inspection, which we are using the criteria, for example the clarity, testability, feasibility, traceability, and so on to inspect our requirements. And also we check our SRS with the comments, and also we do some corrections, and also we detect some defect or any issue, for example requirement missing trigger and conditions. So we are trying to look what are the problem and what are missing information in our requirements. So based on the result, based on the inspection, we actually provide a new set of requirements, which is a derive or a correction from the previous requirements. So last one, which is the walkthrough. So our team conducted a walkthrough with one of the stakeholders, which is Jakim, and also some applicants to represent the validate requirements against the real world workflow. So we are using the prototype and also our functional requirements. So based on this, the walkthrough provide the feedback that lead to key refinement, like adding some sections and also clearer document checklist. So this process basically will improve the accuracy and also ensure that stakeholder needs, that we need to meet the stakeholders and also the applicant needs. And I think that's all from the validation process. Thank you. So as a conclusion from this project, we are actually learning on how to do actual RE framework, like how to build a context diagram, and then how to conduct the RE activities, for example the elicitations, the negotiation, and also the validation. In addition, we actually learn on how to document our requirements to make sure it is accurate and also precise, and also it is traceable for any changes. And lastly, we are actually learning on how to work as a team members. We need to communicate each other, and I think that's all from me. Thank you.